Write down, children, parallelograms. And then the little subheading, by the way, somebody take nice notes for Erin and try to do it just the way she does it. Area of and this would beg the answer to the question of, Emily, what is a parallelogram? It's a who? What's the definition of a parallelogram? Come on, people, you were 7th grade. Parallelogram was a 5th grade shape. Nobody. Can anybody answer what a parallelogram is? Joseph!
A shape that has parallel sides.
There you go. It's not more than a shape, it's a quadrilateral with parallel sides. Now, we have done area of some parallelograms before. We know how to do area of square. That's a quadrilateral. It is, in fact, a parallelogram with 2 parallel sides. We know how to do the area of rectangles. But today, when we speak of parallelograms, we are doing this little shape that looks like this. Well, and it could be a rhombus, or it could be that little shape like that. That wasn't really funny, whoever guffawed at me. That you could say what? Again? Okay. Now, here, I'm just going to give you the formula, which is not terribly complicated. The formula for this is this. And I'm going to do it like this. Area of a parallelogram. I'm going to write the little word parallelogram there, because that just helps you know that it's not the area of something else. And it's a very simple one. It is capital B, little h. Huh? Yeah, if you want it written out in words, it is base times height. Anybody, when have you ever seen base times height before? Lauren. Area of a triangle. When in math you use base and height, ladies and gentlemen, something has to be true. Do you remember what that little truth is? There's a reason why I didn't say length times width, because length and width are not the same as base and height. Base and height have to be perpendicular to each other. They must form a right angle. You are ready then. Here. Let's say this shape is 8 inches by 9 inches. Based on my formula there, Caleb Fisher, the area of that parallelogram is
72. You can't do it?
Thank you very much. Because there are no perpendicular lines there. We did this with triangles. I thought maybe you would have kept on. The only way you can do this with this formula is if the book, they will give you some sort of a dashed line that forms a right angle with one of the sides, and then they will give you that height. And then you would write down the area of a parallelogram is base times height. The 2 lines that form the right angles are 8 and the 5. It doesn't really matter which one you call which. So my area is 40 inches squared. Are we clear on that? Do you think that makes a little bit of sense to you? Okay, you can't just multiply the 2 sides together. It won't work. Now, why can I do that with rectangles and squares, though? It does work with rectangles and squares. Why?
Because they have right angles.
Yeah, because every angle on it is a right angle. So I can just multiply 10 times 4. I can just multiply 3 times 3, because they're already right angles. This one, not so much. Now, what I need to do is this. Write down this problem here, because this is where all, I repeat, every wheel of everything falls off. right here, example problem. Find the area of a parallelogram with these points. What? Here they are. Here are your points. Your points are 2, 1. Point A is at 2, 1. B is at, don't worry, I will get there, 1, -1. C is at -2, -1. And D is at -1, 1. So what are we going to have to do?
Draw a graph.
You are going to have to graph it out. What's the chances I have a piece of graph paper here? No, I don't. What are the chances I can find one? I don't know. Let's just do it freehand. You won't do it freehand, but I will. So here we go. My points look like this, 2, 1. Here's 2, 1. 1, -1. What's the next one? -2, -1. And -1, 1. By the way, if you don't get a shape that has parallel lines here, people, you did something wrong. Okay, so my parallelogram looks like this. And in case you can't see it, here, let's make her bigger. So, my next step is going to be what, Leighton Purdue? You are the king of this. I am looking for the area of this parallelogram. The next thing I'm going to do is, I'm sorry? Did you say write the formula? I thought you did you? Yes, and what is that formula, Leighton? Area equals B times H. And then you'd go back to the thing that says, well, let's do a little investigative work here. What is this distance from here to here? Oh boy. Now remember, when you do this on your paper, you, by the way, are going to have these lines here. Oops, why didn't it show? Why isn't it showing up? So how far is it from here to here? 1, 2, 3. How far is it from here to here? Somebody, anybody, Brian. This distance from here to here? The correct answer is you have no idea. And why is it not 2? It's not 2 because it's not a straight up and down line, so it can't be the same as the straight up and down line. You could use the Pythagorean theorem. Should we figure it out? Sure, let's do it because Madison wants to know. What? You do want to know. Tell me you want to know. Say I make this right triangle here. What's my Pythagorean theorem say? A squared plus, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I know A squared is 1 squared. B squared is how tall? 2. C squared equals, so I get 1 plus 4 equals C squared. 5 equals C squared. What's C squared equal, Lauren? Or what's C equal? No. No. C squared equals 5.
Oh, square root of 5.
Square root of 5. It's irrational. Now that doesn't have anything to do with our problem here. But somehow, in order to do base times height, we've got to come up with 2 perpendicular lines. Anybody? There are all sorts of perpendicular lines there, by the way. We know this is 3. Is there a line perpendicular to this? Oh yeah, look. This line is perpendicular to that. Can you find the distance from here to here? What is it? It is 2. 1 too high. Now I can use my formula, area equals 2 times 3. So the area equals 6 units squared. By the way, do you think that's true? Yeah. Thank you, Caleb. There are times when you're the only bright and sunshiny. Look, here's 1 perfect square, right, for 1 square unit. Here's 2 perfect squares for 2 square units. If I put this piece with this piece together, I get this piece, 3 square units. If I put this piece probably with this piece, I already colored it in there. No, it's probably this piece. 4, and then there's 5, and whatever that other piece is, 6. Would it be 6? Yeah. Sure, isn't it?
Yeah.
5, 6. You kids are, I'm not going to say. I'm going to stop and